Hello, my name is Zachary Lurie. I'm a learning designer at Sustainable Screens Australia, and in this video we take you through how to input data into the filming spaces section of the carbon calculator. Make sure you have your completed carbon footprint preparation checklist ready. So I've logged into my dummy series 10 bedrooms and I've clicked on filming spaces. In the filming spaces, what we're trying to capture is all of the electricity, fuel, gas and water use. So we're going to start with our studio. Electricity. The great thing is it provides a benchmark for you. So I've already put in the data here, but do it as you would normally do. Add new, type in the details based on New South Wales, studio select benchmark, and then we're going to click on electricity and gas. Then you need to know the number of days that you are in the studio. For us, it's 140 days. And then it asks you for the square meterage of the spaces, the stages. I've worked out by Googling the studio space that the total is 8,000. Put it in and select whether it's renewable or not, and then click Save. You can see here that that benchmark does generate a significantly high amount of emissions because that data is based on Irish and UK studio data. But once you get your electricity bill and gas bill in, you'll be able to update that and it'll be a more accurate measure. But remember, for this benchmark example, it does combine electricity and gas. In this production, we weren't able to tap into mains power at any of the locations, so we were actually using a generator. So you'll see here in my dummy data, I don't have an entry for location electricity, so I'm just going to leave that blank. Now we're going to enter data for fuel at the studio. To work this out, we basically just need the spend amount. So I've chatted to our line producer and worked out in the budget line the estimated amount is 90,000, and I'm going to divide that across two spaces, location and studio. So you simply click studio, fuel, other. This will incorporate all of the fuel. The fuel type is diesel. Put in the fuel spend, 60,000, and press save. Okay, and then you'll see the emissions generated. And I just wanted to show you the fuel in locations as well. So I've gone in here and put in an entry, select location, fuel, and this is a generator that we're using on site. And then I've put in the total spend of $30,000. Now we're going to put in the gas at our location. You'll see I've got an entry here. Add it as usual. Put in the details, New South Wales, select location, energy consumption. Now you'll notice for locations there's no benchmark, so you select gas, you're going to have to work out the total consumption. Now, how do you do that? The best way is to have a conversation, as before, with your unit manager and make some observations, see how many gas bowls there are on site for perhaps a forklift or for catering truck, and ask unit roughly how many gas bowls are used per week or how much gas they go through. In this dummy example, we've been advised by unit that they go through 145 kilogram gas cylinder per week. Okay, now the conversion of 145 kilogram gas cylinder to energy works out to be 612 kilowatts of energy. The information about that you can see is in our checklist guide if you're looking to convert, because on the calculator to put in the consumption, you can see here you need to do it in kilowatts. So for location here, you can see we were on location for 38 days, which is about 7.6 weeks. I'm going to times that 7.6 weeks by 612 kilowatts. That's the power created from 145 kilogram cylinder of gas, and it works out to be 4,651 kilowatts. So I've put that in here as consumption. I've selected total and click save, and you'll see that's how you get an estimate on the total amount of gas used on location. Now let's put in the water use. Now on my checklist, I've had that conversation with unit and they estimate that it's roughly 5 litres per person used, and I've times that by the average crew per day and the number of days in the studio. So 5 by 140 crew by 140 days is about 98,000 litres. So I'm going to go in and put that entry in here. So I've created an entry here, studio or water. I've just called it placeholder estimate because I don't have a water bill and I'm at that draft stage. Click studio, click water, I've entered the details, New South Wales. Consumption is in litres, so I've put in 98,000, I've select total and click save. Now we're going to enter in the data for water on location. So I've gone here, location, put an estimate in. Now how did I work that out? I also had that conversation with unit, okay, and I worked it out that per space, so 5 litres in location 1, we had about 50 crew, etc., and then number of days, and I worked that all out, and it came to about 9,000 litres of water. So I go in, select location, select water, we're in New South Wales, I'm going to put in our figure of 9,000 litres, there's the total, I click save. Ask your unit manager, how often does a tanker come to refill the supply at location? You may even have production trucks at a studio or another building facility where you're permanently shooting, where you actually might get a water tanker in every week. They can tell you the volume of that water that's being replaced every week, and then from that you can work out the daily rate. That's a good workaround until you get your first water bill. So now we've entered in the electricity and gas, the fuel and water use for our studio and our location spaces. Now this is all presumed with estimates and conversations based at the draft stage. You know, we're early in pre-production, but I wanted to show you an example of how you might put in electricity for your final carbon footprint. So I've put in here an entry, let's just have a look. So it's the studio, I've selected energy consumption, I've selected electricity, still based in New South Wales, and put the details in. And this is based on our electricity bill. So I've got all of the bills and I've worked out that the total consumption is 85,000 kilowatts. And I put in our area again of 8,000 square meters. But you'll notice when you put in the actual consumption in your final footprint, it does ask you some more details. Is it air conditioned? Does the production have a gallery? So that's like a control room. Then it does ask you about LED lighting. Now it's very common for studios in Australia to have LED lighting, and it asks you to select the percentage between 0 and 30, up to 70% or 70 to 100%. If you can't find that technical information from the facilities, please just email or contact the studio manager, and then you either select whether it has green energy or not. Now, as with all spaces, if there is a portion that does have renewable energy, create a separate entry and the bill will tell you the percentage. So that's how you complete the filming spaces section. For more information, check out our frequently asked questions and troubleshooting guide on our website. And there's also further support and information in our carbon footprint preparation checklist.